It's easy to think that acting with bravery and courage only come in times when we physically fight injustice or evil, but I argue there are many ways in which we can act with bravery in everyday life that we never fully acknowledge. Also, bravery is not simply about facing our own fears, and it's not just about ourselves. When we act with bravery and courage, we inspire other people to do the same thing as well. Welcome back to another video in the Strength of Character series. If you're new here, my name is Brandan. I am a personal trainer, and I'm interested in exploring what it means to be healthy for a young man today. I know we all think of getting to the gym, get a good workout routine, and building this strong physique, but what life is there to have if we also don't have strong character as well? Well, the Greek philosophers first explored this when they were kind of defining what it means to live a virtuous life. And so in positive psychology today, they've been re-exploring this and defining the 6 virtues of life and 24 character strengths that fall under one of the 6 virtues. I'll be adding in my own life experience in this video, but all of the positive psychology research is coming from the VIA Institute on Character. If you want to learn more about who you are and how to bring out the best of who you already are, go take their free character strengths survey and you'll learn a little bit more about that. Today's video is about the first strength under the virtue of courage, and that is bravery, so let's run it. Well, technically, to be brave is to face your fears or challenges, but it can also mean facing forms of adversity or peer pressure that we don't necessarily consider a fear. The researchers at VIA also break this down into 3 forms of bravery: physical bravery, psychological bravery, and moral bravery. Physical bravery is the most common form that we often think of with bravery. This could be actual soldiers in combat, any other form of physical altercations, or it could be a form of like firefighters doing something dangerous, construction workers on top of a skyscraper, anything that we would all agree upon is like, yeah, that has clear risks to doing that sort of thing. Then there's psychological bravery, which is a little bit more individual, but it's still a universal experience we can all relate to. This one involves confronting your mental, emotional, or other personal relationship problems directly. This is going to involve admitting your own vulnerabilities or struggles at times in order to accurately communicate what you know to be true. This one's also going to involve standing up to your own ego to ask for help when you need it. And the third form, lastly, is moral bravery, which means to stand up for the truth even when there's opposition. And we can all exhibit one form of bravery but not the other. So you can think of the brave soldier who fought in combat but is unwilling to face mental health issues or other relationship issues, or you can think of the fierce advocate for social justice who is also unwilling to confront anxieties and other issues within their relationships. As you can tell, I think that form of psychological bravery is one we could all focus just a little bit more on. I'll also mention, in many instances, the person that exhibits bravery is often unaware they're even doing it until someone else points it out. This could be one reason we may downplay our own accomplishments at times. If you're ever facing uncertainty, ambiguity, or taking on risks, give yourself more credit for that sort of stuff. Own that shit. I think a reason we're always out looking for the next courageous underdog is because we see ourselves in them. To see someone stand up for what's right and act with bravery and courage helps us know that we can overcome our own challenges and stand up for what we think is right as well. For some inspiration to start using your bravery a bit more, consider this. What ways do you express your bravery most often? Taking physical risks, supporting unpopular positions, or challenging society's standards? Being emotionally vulnerable, invested and engaged in relationships? How do you balance your bravery so that it does not put you at excess risk? Who in your life motivates you to be more brave? In what ways could you be more like them? For some ways to use bravery in real life, consider a relationship you want to grow in and challenge yourself to use your bravery to give them a compliment, and try and think about their experience and their positive emotion a lot more than your own nervousness or any anxieties you have to voice that compliment. Also, another thing to do with one of your friendships is to consider something that concerns you about them, particularly like their well-being. And you can try and voice your own concerns by saying something like, hey, I noticed this saying seems to maybe affecting you a little bit more. I could be completely wrong on this though, but I felt it was the right thing to do to at least say something to you. For physical bravery, one of my favorite things to do that isn't some crazy dare is to just go for a little bit higher PR in the gym. So for your first training set, add on an extra 5 or 10 pounds than usual. And then really just, you got to be absolutely convicted that you're going to go into that first set, you're going to pick up the weight off the bar and just smash a PR. You may be anxious, but use your bravery and challenge yourself to go for just a little bit more. Get out of that comfort zone just a little bit. To see bravery in action, I think watching Harry Potter, the first movie, The Sorcerer's Stone, is a great example of all forms of bravery from each different character, and Dumbledore has this great quote at the end directly about bravery.
We're tied with Slytherin.
And finally, it takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your enemies, but a great deal more to stand up to your friends. I award 10 points to Neville Longbottom.
If you are also an entrepreneur or artist or content creator, you name it, I cannot recommend Seth Godin enough. He has some great, useful, balanced psychological bravery examples, especially like this one.
We make the menu longer instead of making one dish that people are willing to drive across town to buy. And so we end up with the hacker paradox, right? Number one, we need to care enough to connect, care enough to put ourselves at risk, emotional risk or any other kind of risk, to touch other people and to play one note that's worth hearing. But we also have to be brave enough to ship it before it's ready, because it's never ready. It's never the right time. Gutenberg launched the printing press when fewer than 8% of the people in Europe knew how to read. Carl Benz launched...
And I'll have that full video linked in the description down below to go watch it. I mentioned this earlier, but there is such a thing as too much bravery, and I know we can all relate to having too little bravery, so we should all strive to have a balanced life, or as the Greeks called it, a golden mean in our life. Overusing bravery can lead us into becoming adrenaline junkies and overall reckless. Clear signs of this are when we start to become overly confrontational and we really start to neglect others' well-being and just the beliefs of others overall. It's important to think that not only are we putting ourselves at excess risk with this type of behavior, but we're also putting others in harm's way, and we start to neglect the consequences of our own actions. Another important part of bravery is standing up for what you believe is right, but overusing this can lead us into pushing agendas so far that others start to act defensively, negative, and reject ideas and others' existence altogether. Using the other character strengths of self-regulation and love and kindness are other ways we can incorporate finding a balanced approach to pushing our own agendas but sharing ideas and beliefs that can exist within a society together. If you want to dive into that idea a bit more, search up Second Order Convictions and Professor Darren Hicks at the University of Denver. He's got a lot to talk about it. Really interesting stuff. Now, on the other hand, underusing bravery has never been easier to do in today's society. This can come from taking the easy way out and caving into peer pressure. We have more convenience in society and fear from cancel culture than ever before, but we still need to do what is right in our own daily lives and for others in order to live a fulfilling, virtuous life, no matter how small these actions are. Being stuck in autopilot mode and mindlessly consuming are the biggest enablers of underusing our bravery, because it leads us into never being aware of our own actions and coming up with our own original convictions from our own life experience. Know that bravery can come in small acts too, so challenge yourself to use self-regulation and come up with ways that you can break up the monotony in life and the unhealthy habits that we can often find ourselves in. So, final thoughts. When you are at your best with bravery, you take action on what you believe in, and you confront self-doubt, vulnerabilities, and adversity along the way, no matter how small those actions or oppositions are. We must all do this if we want to live a life of our own design. All right, another day, another dollar, another video. You know what they say. This was the first strength under the virtue of courage. More to come. This is a really interesting one, and I think this is definitely one that we kind of use in interesting ways in today's society, but we can always just find a better way to balance it in our lives. So if you enjoyed this video, if you got something out of it, leave a like, leave a comment down below. If you want to really help me out right now, watch some more of my videos and share this with someone else you feel like is maybe interested in positive psychology and self-improvement as well, because I know, like I said before, like we can all have great physiques, we can work out and be healthy, but what life is there to have if we don't have good character as well? Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Other than that, have a great week. You'll catch me in the next one.